This video is edited to shorten watch time by removing sidebars, procedural evidence handling, and long pauses. Witness testimony remains intact, with minor trims to hesitation words and stutters. Audio is enhanced from the broadcasted court feed, but some originally inaudible dialogue may still be unclear.
My first name is Nora, N-O-R-A. My last name is Donegan, D like David, O-N-E-G-A-N. But I'm formally last name Burllo, B-U-R-L-O.
Thank you. Detective Donegan, how are you employed?
I'm a detective with the Milwaukee Police Department.
How long have you been with the department?
7 years.
How long have you been a detective?
For about 6 months.
Prior to being promoted to detective, where were you assigned and what was your rank?
I was a police officer at District 5.
Were you working in that capacity on April 2nd, 2024?
Yes.
Who was your partner that day?
The partner was James Terrell.
Were you asked to do a welfare check at the address that I mentioned before, 1858 North Commerce Street?
Yes.
Can you describe what information you received going into that assignment?
So my partner and I had actually been in District 7 conducting a specialized patrol that night. I noticed looking at our CAD system, our call system where our calls come in and we can visually see information regarding those calls. I noticed a call, a welfare check for the address 1858 West Commerce, or North Commerce, And upon clicking on that call, it was noted that there had been a suspicious vehicle fire where the owner of the vehicle had tried to be located but hadn't been found earlier on in that day. And it was requested again that officers go back to her apartment and try to locate her.
Did you have a name associated with either that apartment or the suspicious vehicle fire at that point?
Yes.
What was that?
Sade Robinson.
Approximately what time did you and Officer Terrell make your way to that location?
Our shift ends at 3 a.m., but we went at about 4 o'clock, maybe 3:45.
And what did you do once there?
So prior to getting there, we actually made contact with the maintenance man who lives in the building. And once we were there, he let us in and escorted us up to her apartment.
Do you remember his name?
Yes.
What was it?
Eddie Feliciano.
Then what happened?
He provided us access to the apartment. My partner and I just looked around to see if she was there or if anything seemed out of place or suspicious.
Was anyone present inside the apartment?
No.
What apartment was it?
309.
Describe the general layout and your observations of the apartment.
It was a studio apartment. When you first enter, there's a bathroom to your left. There's a larger closet to your right. And as you move into the apartment more, there's a kitchenette to your left. And then in front of you is all big open space, a studio.
Did it appear to be lived in, like somebody was living there? Describe the contents of the apartment.
It actually just reminded me of a college student's apartment. So it was a little messy, but, to be expected for someone who's younger. She had a bed. There was a small day bed that was not pulled out like a trundle, but all tucked in like a couch. And there were lots of purses and clothes and normal for a college girl.
And you're referencing somebody younger, somebody that could be in college. Did you know Sade's age at the time that you went to do the welfare check?
Yes. So in our call systems, when they give a name, usually there's a date of birth attached to it, or we can also look in our records and try to figure out how old that person is.
And do you recall what her age was?
I remember early 20s, or not even 21. I think she was 19.
When you're in the apartment doing a welfare check like this, are you looking for signs, in addition to looking for someone, are you looking for signs of a struggle or information about what might have happened to that person?
Yes, as well as identifiers.
Did you locate anything of note that would lead you to believe that something had happened to her?
No.
And did you find any identification?
Yes.
What kind of identification?
I found a Wisconsin ID in a purse.
So nothing suspicious in the apartment at all to lead you to believe that something had happened to her?
No.
Then what happened?
While I located the identifier, my partner did talk to Mr. Feliciano, and once we were done, we left the apartment. My partner and I made note of a few of the surveillance cameras in that building, and then we left and went back to our district and reported to our lieutenant on our findings.
Were you able to access the surveillance cameras at that time?
No, we were not.
How come?
Mr. Feliciano does work in the building. However, he is not office staff. He didn't at the time at least have access to the tenant's files or information.
Where did you take note of the location of those surveillance cameras?
There was one camera in the elevator area, I believe when you got off the elevator on her floor, on the third floor. And then on the first floor, I'm going to start from the outside, actually. So when you first come into the apartment building, there's a camera. As you're walking down the hall, there's another camera. We didn't make it all the way down the hall because it cuts off to that elevator area to go up to the third floor. You could see a camera at the end of the hall on the ceiling. And then in the elevator area, there was a camera. So the elevators are visible.
Did you take note of where the resident parking was? Was there a parking lot associated with this building?
Yes.
Where was that?
Right in front of the main entrance. It's a large apartment building.
And that would be?
Parking lot, excuse me.
Would that be on Commerce Street?
On Commerce Street, yes.
What did you do after taking note of the video camera locations?
Like I said, we went back to our district and then informed our lieutenant of our findings.
At some point, did you learn about a human leg having been found at Warnemont Park?
Objection, hearsay.
I don't think that question calls for hearsay. I will allow the question. Go on. You can answer it.
Okay, I actually did learn about a leg being found there, and I found that out prior to the start of my shift, actually. It was in the news.
So prior to your shift on April 2nd?
Yes.
At some point, did you connect the welfare check that you had done at Sade's apartment with the human leg?
I did. It was more just a funny feeling. When I clicked on that call, I saw this suspicious car fire and the owner hadn't been located. The owner was Sade. And then one of her friends called in a welfare check for that Commerce address. We didn't locate her. She's a young girl. She didn't have any history, I don't believe, criminal history in our systems. And after talking with the maintenance man about how she was excited for a date, I felt uncomfortable being a woman who dates or has dated.
Objection,
for her safety.
relevance to wherever she's going with this, Your Honor. Unresponsive.
I will sustain that objection. I would ask you to re-ask the question.
I can ask a follow-up question. Did you relay your welfare check at Sade's apartment to the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Department?
Yes.
And specifically to Detective Donner?
Yes.
Okay. I have nothing further.
Yes.
Thank you. So you went to Sade's apartment.
Yes.
You said it was messy.
Yes.
Stuff everywhere.
Yes.
Okay, just one room with stuff just scattered all over the place.
No, I would consider that more ransacked.
Okay.
Messy is, maybe she didn't put all of her clothes away.
So there's clothes just laying out all over the place?
There were some clothes on the bed in her daybed, yes.
Okay, in a purse just sitting there on a couch?
She had a lot of purses, actually.
Oh, and one of them had her
were-
ID in it.
Yes.
So her purse is in her apartment with her ID.
Well, she had multiple purses.
Okay. One of those purses had her ID in it in her apartment.
It had an ID.
Was this a real ID or a fake ID?
It looked to be a real ID, but I can't recall if it was expired, maybe.
Did you take pictures?
No, but I did have my body cam activated.
Great. And Sade wasn't there, right?
No, she was not.
That's all.
State?
Nothing further.
Thank you, Detective.
All right. Thank you.